Okay, let me ask you this. Would you rather have $1,000 right now, today, or $1,100 1 year from now? And most of us get that little gut pull, right? Take the money now. And well, that intuition, it's actually spot on. It's the core idea behind something called the time value of money, or
Yeah.
TVM. So TVM, sometimes you hear it called present discounted value. It basically tells us that money's value isn't, fixed. It changes over time. Our deep dive today is all about unpacking why a dollar today is worth more, how we actually measure that difference, and where this honestly really powerful concept pops up in your life. Think big corporate decisions all the way down to your personal savings.
Exactly. And that gut pull you mentioned reminds me of what Harvard Business School professor V.G. Narayan said. He described cash flows from different times as being like different currencies. You can't just add yen and euros, right? You have to convert them first.
Convert them to a common currency.
Precisely. And in finance, that common currency is the present value, what it's all worth in today's terms.
All right, so let's dig into the why. Why is money now more valuable? It kind of boils down to three main pillars, three reasons. First up, opportunity cost. Look, money you have right now can be invested. It can work for you. It can grow. Like that $1,000 today, if you could invest it and get, say, a 15% return, which is optimistic but possible, that's $1,150 in a year. Suddenly that future $1,100 doesn't look so great, does it? What you miss out on by not having the money now to invest, that's opportunity cost. Then, pillar number two, inflation. The silent thief. This one's pretty intuitive, I think. It's just how your money buys less over time. Think about, I don't know, $100 gift certificate for gas from, say, 20 years ago. Imagine how much more fuel that bought compared to today. The value quietly leaks away. And the third pillar, risk and uncertainty. It's like the fog of the future, right? A promise of money later isn't the same as money in your hand. Things can happen. The promise might not be kept. It's just not guaranteed. So naturally, you demand a higher return for taking on that risk.
And what's really neat is how these three things, opportunity cost, inflation risk, risking, they directly feed into what we call the discount rate, or you might just call it the interest rate. You sometimes see that formula, interest rate, real risk-free rate plus inflation premium plus risk premiums. It literally accounts for expected inflation and adds bits on top to compensate for all those uncertainties.
Right. Which leads us perfectly into the financial time machine bit, calculating future value and present value. So future value or compounding. This answers, what will my money be worth down the line? It's all about interest, earning interest. We looked at a table showing this $1,000 invested at 10% for 30 years. It can balloon to over $17,000. That's compounding, working its magic over time. Then you flip it for present value or discounting. This asks the opposite. What's a future chunk of money worth right now, today? It's like running the time machine backwards. So maybe you're promised $10,000, but it's 20 years away. If the discount rate is 10%, that promise, it's only worth about $4,486 today. Quite a difference.
And a really crucial detail, often overlooked, is how often that interest compounds. Is it yearly, monthly, daily? Think about credit cards that usually compound monthly. This means you end up with a higher effective annual rate, or EE, than the simple annual rate suggests, because interest starts earning its own interest much sooner and more often. It adds up.
Okay, so this isn't just theory. Where do we see TVM in the wild? Honestly, everywhere. Corporate boardrooms use it constantly, like with net present value, NPV, to decide if building a new factory makes financial sense. But for you, listening right now, it's a personal finance superpower. Seriously, planning for retirement. You're using TVM to figure out how much you need to save now to hit that, say, $1,000,000 goal later. Loans, mortgages, their payment schedules are built entirely on TVM principles. Oh, and winning the lottery, that $100 million prize.
Yes, the lottery example.
Right. It's usually an annuity paid out over like 20 or 30 years. The actual value today, the present value, is way, way less than that big headline number.
Now, let's try the ultimate TVM challenge. Applying this to something really practical, maybe something you're thinking about. Starting a side hustle. Let's say a freelance graphic design shop. You need to think of this not just as a gig, but as a serious investment. First, the present value aspect is your cost. There are the obvious startup costs, computer, software, maybe some marketing. That could be, what, $1,000 to $3,000, maybe more? But the big one most people miss, the opportunity cost of your time. If you could be earning, say, $20 an hour part-time and you spend 15 hours a week on your hustle, well, that's $1,200 a month in potential wages you're giving up. That's a real cost.
A cost happening right now in present value terms.
Exactly. Now, the payoff, the future value, might look good on paper. Maybe projections show you could be making nearly $50,000 in profit by year 5. But here's the kicker, risk. The failure rates for new businesses are just, well, staggering. Over 20% fail in year 1. About half are gone within 5 years.
Wow, half. That's
Ah,
sobering.
it is. And that massive risk means you have to use an extremely high discount rate when evaluating those future profits. That potential $49,000 in 5 years. At a 20% discount rate, it's worth maybe $19,000 today. But use a more realistic, say, 40% rate reflecting that high failure risk, it drops to under $10,000, maybe even just over $9,000 in today's money.
That drastically changes the investment picture.
Completely. But here's the aha moment. Tools you might have heard of, like the business model canvas or the lean startup approach with its build, measure, learn cycle and minimum viable product, these aren't just trendy business practices. They are fundamentally financial strategies. Their whole purpose is to reduce uncertainty, to test assumptions quickly and cheaply.
So by reducing uncertainty.
You reduce the risk. And when you lower the risk, you lower that risk premium component in your discount rate. And what happens when you lower the discount rate?
The present value goes up.
Exactly. You are actively making your venture more valuable today by strategically de-risking it.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway? Time value of money isn't just math homework. It's more like a mental model, a way to make smarter, more rational decisions. And it applies everywhere, from huge companies down to your own choices about saving, spending, or even starting that side project.
It really is the foundation. Understanding TVM gives you the power to properly weigh up immediate pleasure versus long-term goals. It lets you translate totally different options, cash now, a payout later, and investment risk, into one single comparable thing. Their true value in today's terms. It's, I think, the essential first step towards real financial literacy and taking control.